Welcome to the Bite-Sized Security Podcast, your source for practical online security advice. Join me, my guests, and sometimes my trained AI voice as I explore ways to protect your digital footprint against the growing cyber threats. From mastering better passwords to understanding encryption and VPNs, the Bite-Sized Security Podcast breaks complex topics into clear guidance. It's time to take control of your online presence. You're listening to the Bite-Sized Security Podcast, unlocking solutions for your digital life. Let's get to it.
Video calling has become ubiquitous, with tools like Zoom, WebEx, and Microsoft Teams now embedded in our work, school, and healthcare. But the convenience comes with risks if proper security isn't implemented. In this solo episode, I'll be providing tangible steps you can take to keep your sensitive virtual meetings safe from intrusions, data theft, and phishing. I'll cover preventing disruptions, limiting content sharing, managing privacy settings, protecting meeting links, software updates, and more. If you want to confidently host secure video conferences, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. The COVID pandemic drove a massive explosion in video conferencing usage as it became essential for remote work, learning, telehealth, and staying in touch. But early on, the rush to adopt convenient video apps led to infamous security issues like Zoom bombing and rampant data sharing with Facebook. While platforms have strengthened protections, risks remain if users don't properly configure security settings. Malicious actors can still gain access to meetings, compromise sensitive screens and files, and leverage video tools for phishing. It's crucial to understand how to prevent disruptions, maintain privacy, and keep video calls safe. I'll start with tips to avoid potentially embarrassing or harmful video call disruptions. If you're hosting public events or meetings, enable waiting rooms so you can vet attendees before allowing them to join a call. Disable the ability for participants to rename themselves to prevent impersonation. Mute all attendees on entry to manage noise, and make sure you as host can mute or remove any disruptive participant if issues emerge. For sensitive meetings, confirm all invited guests have joined a call, then lock the room to prevent any subsequent attendees from barging in. Monitor shared screens and disable participants' ability to share when not required. Disable file transfer and chat functions, or restrict chat to host only if needed to prevent content compromise. Taking these steps allows controlling your meeting space and quickly addressing any participant misbehavior. You maintain the power to minimize disruptions. Next, I'll cover privacy tips for your video settings. Be thoughtful about your call backgrounds and staging to avoid revealing sensitive personal details on camera. Use virtual backgrounds if your environment could expose whiteboards or screens with private info. Disable your video unless required to limit visibility into homes or offices. Position cameras to only show your face, not messy rooms or paperwork on desks. Before screen sharing, close unneeded docks and browser tabs containing personal details. Double-check for sensitive open windows that could be glimpsed. Also confirm screen recordings are disabled to prevent capturing and distribution of private call footage if activated accidentally. Managing what you visibly expose through conscious video settings gives you crucial control over sensitive data. I also recommend protecting meeting access using settings like auto-generated meeting IDs instead of personal links on recurring calls. Require meeting passwords and only share with invited participants rather than posting publicly. Generate new IDs and passwords periodically to thwart access by past participants. Waiting rooms are also useful for vetting attendees before entry. Configure meetings to start with attendee video off and microphones muted so inappropriate content isn't suddenly broadcasted. Limiting meeting access prevents uninvited guests from hijacking sessions. Of course, you also want to prevent vulnerabilities from your video apps themselves. Ensure your versions are updated promptly as vendors patch security flaws. Disable integrated third-party tools if not required, as these can introduce risks. Review permission settings and don't authorize unnecessary data access by apps that could expose meeting contents. Proactively hardening video software protects against technical exploits that could allow meeting infiltrations. Lastly, take extra precautions when connecting from public Wi-Fi. Consider using your phone's cellular data instead to prevent open network eavesdropping. If you must use public Wi-Fi, enable a VPN to encrypt the connection. Securing the network used for conferencing is just as important as the apps themselves when it comes to video call privacy. Those are the key areas to focus on for enhancing video conference security from disruptions, content leaks, and technical attacks. Take the time to review settings and lock things down before your next sensitive virtual meeting. The minor extra effort provides serious protection. Secure video calls start with informed, proactive users taking sensible precautions. Here's a summary of the video call security tips covered in this bite-sized security episode. Enable waiting rooms to vet attendees before allowing them to join. Disable file transfers, chat, renaming abilities to prevent content compromise. Use mute controls and host monitoring capabilities to minimize disruptions. Manage virtual backgrounds and camera angles to control sensitive visibility. Generate randomized meeting IDs and require passwords to protect access. Limit third-party app permissions and keep software updated. Consider using phone cellular data instead of public Wi-Fi to prevent eavesdropping. Position cameras to only show your face and avoid exposing private environments. Check for sensitive open windows before screen sharing to prevent accidental leaks. Disable screen recordings to prevent distribution of private meeting footage. Review meeting participant lists frequently and lock rooms once all invited guests have joined. Disable attendee screen sharing and file transfers if not required. Use chat functions cautiously and disable or restrict if not needed. Ensure meetings start with attendee video off and mics muted until host is ready. I hope these tips give you a blueprint for keeping your crucial video conferencing safe and private. That concludes this edition of Bite-Sized Security focused on video call security. Implement access controls, manage your privacy settings, harden software protection, and be cautious on public Wi-Fi. Taking practical steps keeps your virtual meetings free of disruptions, phishing risks, and data theft. For more bite-sized cybersecurity lessons, keep listening to Bite-Sized Security. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Bite-Sized Security, the quick-hitting podcast serving bite-sized tips to boost your online safety. We covered a lot of ground today and easy-to-digest nuggets of practical cybersecurity advice. If you want to learn more ways to protect your data and identity online, be sure to subscribe for future episodes. We'll continue breaking down complex security topics into straightforward guidance anyone can apply. Visit our website, bitesizesecurity.show, for recaps and show notes from all of our podcasts. We hope these bite-sized cyber lessons have given you new tools in your digital security toolbox. This is your host signing off until next time. Stay safe in the digital world. You've been listening to Bite-Sized Security.